Alright, so we're going to get started on Revit 2019 Demo 39. This lecture is going to consist of grouping. Grouping is similar to blocks in AutoCAD. You can put items together and group them so they come in as one smaller object. So we're going to open up Revit Demo 22. So we're going to go in and open from our demonstration files, wherever you're saving those, Demo 22. And under Demo 22, we will start by making a group with no special challenges. So we're going to go to floor level 1, floor plan level 1. In a bedroom, bring in a double bed, chair, and desk. So we're going to go to bedroom 1, and we're going to bring in a component, load family, furniture. We want to find beds. We're going to bring in a double bed, which I don't have a double bed, so we'll just bring in a bed standard, open. And we will we'll search for bed, double bed. And I'm just going to put this right in between these windows here. And then we'll bring in, I believe we have a desk. If we go to component, search for desk. Go ahead and place this desk in here. You also want to make sure, checking in 3D, that the desk is placed correctly. So we're going to just hide this category for floors and kind of take a peek. Yep, that looks correct. You can also cut a section if you want to do it that way. So we could kind of move this section and flip it, drag this out, cut the section. That desk is placed correctly. And then what we'll want to do is hit CM, which is component, search for a chair. We don't have a chair loaded, so we'll load one. We'll go up to seating. Chair, we'll look for a desk chair, like an executive chair. Open that one up. We'll use the space bar to kind of space it correctly, and we'll put it right in the center. And so now we've got that set up. We're going to select the double bed, and we're going to modify furniture. So under the Modify Furniture tab, we're going to create a group. So what's going to happen is we're just going to create an initial group here. And we're going to name it Typical Double Bed Layout. So tip double bed layout. And then we're going to hit OK. And what we can do is we can actually add to this. So we can actually edit the group, and we can add the chair and the desk. In this case, yeah, we'll select both of them, and you'll notice that they gray out. So we'll hit Finish. You can attach a detail group to this as well, but for right now, we're just going to hit Finish. We'll get into that a little bit later. And then when you select it, you'll notice that the group has a series of dashed lines around it. And what that allows you to do is kind of see that it's one object and that it can be used over and over again like an AutoCAD block. So to use it, what we could do is we could go to Architecture, and then under Architecture, we'll click Model Group, and we'll hit Place Model Group. And when we place Model Group, it defaults to that one, which is Typical Bed Layout, and you can place that in other areas. You can also rotate this group. So if I've placed that, I could rotate it at 45 degrees or 90 degrees, and it just makes it really nice to edit these. Now, one thing to note under editing the group is that we can make a design change. So we could swap out the double beds and replace them with king beds. So we could edit the group, select this, swap it out with a king, hit Finish, and it'll update that other group to have a king size bed. So that's something pretty neat and pretty handy. So you can imagine if you had a 100-story building with like 250 rooms that all had a similar layout, to update the beds would be really easy if you were using groups to associate. Now, one other thing, we can select it and change it to a queen now rather than a king. So we can edit the group again, change this to a queen, hit Finish, and you'll notice that live updates. You can also move the location of the desk. So if the location of the desk needed to be more aligned to the center of the bed, you could align these elements so that they're aligned correctly, hit Finish, and it'll live update those groups as well. So now let's eliminate the chair. So we're going to just delete the chair out, which we could hit Remove. So we could remove that from there. And now if I make any changes, the chair's on its own. Notice when I deleted that chair, it didn't delete it there. Same thing here. If I delete that, it's not going to delete the group. So that's something to know as well. So that'll update all the groups. So one thing we could do is we could start to go in and start placing generic layouts and modify them so that bedroom 2, bedroom 3, and bedroom 1 have the same group layout. We can also place dressers and add those to the group layouts. So I could come in here to this bedroom 1, hit architecture component, load family, go into dresser. So if we did storage dresser and I load the dresser in, I can choose this large size dresser and place it against the wall. Same thing, I want to check to make sure that using a wall section that this dresser is correct. Yep, it's facing the correct way. And then I could come in here, edit the group again, and just add that placed value and hit finish, and it'll update. Now obviously I'd want to make sure that the room sizes are the same. That way if I'm placing, different elements in here that I could reuse them. You can also take these and understand that the updates will update across the entire project, but you can also save these groups. So I can actually come into the group in the project browser down below, and I could come down to model, and I could right click and save group, and it saves it as a Revit project, and it creates the same group name. So I'm just going to save that in my demos file. So I'll ask that you do the same in yours. So if we go into wherever you're saving your demos, go ahead and create a new folder called groups. Under groups, you're going to just hit save. And what we'll notice is that it opened, cut, copied, and pasted it into a new project and saved it and closed out of it. So what I could do is I could go to insert and I could load as group, and then I could go back into Box Sync or wherever you're saving your files, go into demos, go to groups, and I have this typical group layout. So I can go this and I can include the attached details. You remember that there was that attachment icon? So we can open that. The following groups being loaded have the same names as groups already in the project. Do you want to replace? Yes, we'll go ahead and replace those for now. But now if I create similar, those same groups can be multiplied over and over again. So if I do it 5 times, modify the layout to something I like, hit finish, it's going to update across all of them. So it's moving that along very nicely. So that's really the power of grouping inside of Revit. For this project, we'll go ahead and file, save as, project, Revit demo 39 is what we want to look for. So we're going to go into our demo folder. We want to save this as demo 39. Save. And I will see you in the next lecture.